SpaceX's latest Starship prototype went out in a blaze of glory. The Starship SN-10 spacecraft touched down successfully after a high-altitude test flight, and it was awesome. In fact, it was the coolest thing I have ever seen in spaceflight, and I'm so happy that I was able to witness this iconic moment, because kids in the future are going to look back in history books at this and see how primitive this Starship actually was. It was a major milestone for the company as well as its crewed Mars ambitions. But the vehicle didn't manage to hold itself together. It exploded about 8 minutes after landing. The big stainless steel SN-10, short for serial number 10, launched from SpaceX's South Texas site at about 6:15 p.m., rose to 6.2 miles, or 10 kilometers into the sky, and then came back to Earth, doing a belly flop all the way down. And then at 6 minutes and 20 seconds after liftoff, it fired its engines and flipped straight up and down and landed right on its feet. It was the third high-altitude flight for a Starship vehicle, but the first to feature a successful landing. SN-10's two immediate predecessors, SN-8 and SN-9, flew well during their jaunts, but of course both hit the ground hard and ended up in pieces. SpaceX's principal integration engineer, John Insprucker, said during SpaceX's launch webcast, "Third time's a charm. We've had a successful soft touchdown on the landing pad that's capping a beautiful test flight of Starship 10. But that wasn't the end of the story. Even as cameras flipped off left and right and left viewers with black screens all over YouTube, some flames were still visible near SN-10's base shortly after landing. That was a sign of things to come. The vehicle exploded on the landing pad at about 6:30 p.m., rising up and crashing down again in a huge fireball. SpaceX is developing Starship to get people and payloads to the Moon, Mars, and other distant destinations, and to fly any other mission the company requires. It's even going to enable us to fly from, say, Australia to Seattle in less than an hour. Indeed, SpaceX plans to eventually phase out its other flight hardware too. The Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets and Dragon cargo and crew capsules will all go away and let Starship shoulder the entire load. That comes from company founder and CEO Elon Musk. We'll see many more test flights in the weeks and months ahead. SpaceX is already building multiple SN-10 successors, as well as the first Super Heavy prototype. Musk has said that the company aims to get a Starship prototype to orbit this year, and he expects the final spaceflight system to be flying people regularly by 2023. SpaceX already has an operational Starship flight targeted to launch that year, the Dear Moon mission, booked by Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa. Maezawa is looking for crew members to join him on that 6-day journey around the moon, so throw your hat in the ring if you're interested. And speaking of Yusaku Maezawa, well, let's get into it, shall we? He is in fact looking for 8 crew members for a mission to the moon. Maezawa, a controversial entrepreneur who previously held a girlfriend contest for a now defunct spacebound mission. Yeah, you remember him now, don't you? He announced Tuesday, March 2nd, that his Dear Moon project, which aims to fly the first civilian mission to the moon, according to the project website, is now looking for 8 crew members to fly to and around the moon and back on SpaceX's Starship spacecraft. The project was announced in 2018 with the original intent to bring a crew of artists to the moon. In this latest release, however, Maezawa calls for applicants to make up a crew of 8 individuals from around the world for the week-long lunar trip. For more information about the project and applicant requirements, check out the Dear Moon website. In the video announcing the call for civilian astronauts, which features heavy rock music and footage of SpaceX's Starship lifting off, SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk voiced his support for the mission, stating,
"What's really significant about the Dear Moon mission is that it'll be the first private space flight, first commercial space flight with humans beyond Earth orbit. So this has never occurred before, and in fact, we're going to go past the moon. So it will actually end up being further. This mission, we expect people will go further than any human has ever gone from planet Earth.
I'm inviting you to join me on the mission. 8 of you from around the world, Mizawa said in the video. The mission will take place 2 years from now in 2023. I want people from all kinds of backgrounds to join. For those interested in applying to be one of those 8 crew members, Mizawa didn't specify what qualifications are necessary to be selected. I am totally imagining some sort of Willy Wonka contest, but they are allowing people to pre-register for the contest until March 14th. After that, the website states that everyone who pre-registers will receive an email about the selection process. Pre-registration will be followed by an initial screening, an online interview, and a final interview and medical screening, which the website states will take place by late May of this year. This call for crew members comes as other civilian space missions also garner attention and applicants. For example, people all over the world have applied to Inspiration 4 now, a contest looking to fly a civilian mission to space while raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.